And we knew this 70 years ago, but we never changed over. And the reason why is because the car companies wanted to have gas-guzzling vehicles because they were in bed with the oil companies to keep making money off of the consumers. And that's how they look at us. We aren't people to them. We are the consumers. We are the people who consume. So they want us to consume so that they can get rich off of us consuming. And, we just can't do it anymore. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense to keep throwing away the possible future for the I want to be rich now because I'm an evil Luxocrat present. So, what we really need to do for ourselves is we need to kind of take a full inventory of all of science. The answers, incredibly, are out there, but we've got essentially a Republican attack machine that attacks any effort to bring the truth forward. So you have civil engineering textbooks that have solutions nobody's ever heard of. You have energy physics textbooks that have solutions to our problems that nobody's ever heard of. Sociology textbooks, psychology textbooks, across the board, the information is out there, but hardly anybody knows about it because you have to get a degree to learn it. And then once you have the degree, nobody wants to listen to you, and they're spending billions of dollars to drown you out with these propaganda wars and these propaganda campaigns to silence the truth and keep those truths from being known. I haven't said anything about energy, about geothermal power, about climate science that isn't a known fact. All you'd have to do is ask someone who's got a PhD in that field, and they would tell you exactly what I just have. So I'm not telling you anything that's brand new. I'm just actually going out and finding the truth and then putting it all together. And that's what we need to do, all of us, together now. We need to quit the propaganda war. We need to quit the left and the right, barking at each other. That is a false dilemma. And it's a false dilemma that excludes the third real options of actual solutions and actual problem-solving process. When you have people yelling and screaming nonsense and drowning out the truth, scientists get used to it. I had a sociology teacher once, professor once. She wasn't actually, I never took any of her classes, but I knew her personally. And I asked her, well, why aren't you more political? Why don't you try to make, because you know about the sociology stuff, you're teaching people stuff in class that has incredible applications for the problems we now face in our society. And she says to me, I tried that when I was young, and what I found out very quickly is they have more time and a louder bullhorn. They have the ability to yell me down, and there's no way I can compete with a billion-dollar lie machine. And that's what the Republican Party is. And when you kind of get a little bigger in perspective, to pull back away from just energy itself as one issue, the Republican Party is that way about every issue. They are professional liars. They are professional scam artists. They absolutely depend upon the ignorance of the public to run all of their scams. And it doesn't matter what the scam is, whether it's energy or whether it's something else, it's all lies. It's all deception. There isn't any truth in any of it. You talk about, Rush Limbaugh or Newt Gingrich or George Bush, these guys are paid professional liars. And finding out the truth is actually not that hard. One of the beautiful things that is kind of the saving grace that we have right now is we have the internet. We have information available to us if we will only go look for it. It's just right there. It's only a Google search away. And when information is only a Google search away, what it then becomes true is that people don't know what's going on only because they haven't taken the time to go look. They haven't learned. And the Republican Party likes to tell everybody that's okay. And they, in fact, like to diabolize scientists. And there's a movement called the anti-intellectualism movement to make, anybody who knows anything about anything sound like a bunch of stupid eggheads. Oh, those eggheads, they don't have any common sense, right? Common sense, though, is really a code word for bullshit that we made up because we're lying scammers and we want to dupe the public. That's what this quote-unquote common sense. When you talk about Rush Limbaugh's common sense, you're talking about straight lies, straight deceptions, absolute unmitigated nonsense that has no sense to it really at all. It's not common, it's not sensible, it's not lucid, it's not sane, it's utterly crazy. And so what we need to do is to stop. We need to stop that nonsense. The Republican Party is going in decline, and it really needs to. It needs to just get flushed down the toilet. There isn't anything good. There is not anything wholesome. There is not anything positive about the Republican Party. It is an utterly evil, utterly useless institution. There is nothing useful about the Republican Party. And the chief reason for that is Republican. What does Republican mean? Republican means those who want to have a quote-unquote representative government, right? So you have people on the top and people on the bottom. That's what Republican means, right? So what are they trying to do? They're trying to ensure the power and privilege of the few at the expense of the many. Therefore, Republicanism is, by definition, a relationship between rich Luxocrats and their dupes, the people that they lie to and scam. People don't want to know that. They don't want to find out, oh my gosh, I've been scammed all my life. I've been voting Republican all my life, and it turns out that I've been voting against my own best interests. But the actual truth is, that's what's going on. Now, having said that about the Republicans, the Democrats really aren't that much better. They're not out there to intentionally lie to us. They're not out there to intentionally scam us. But they don't actually know the truth. So, being ignorant is a slightly less crime than being intentionally deceptive. And that's what's going on with the Democrats right now. If Obama had the solutions that I have, because I've actually read the textbooks, we'd be out of our mess right now. We'd have already solved the mess. We'd have solved the economic crisis. We'd have solved the energy crisis. We'd have solved the Iran crisis. We'd have solved the Iraq problem. All of these things would have been resolved already. It's the fact that Obama does not have the truth and does not have the facts, and that he lives in a vacuum that's separated from the truth. Washington's like that. When a senator or a congressperson is writing a bill or working on a problem, who do they call to find out the information that they need to know? They call lobbyists, unfortunately. And the lobbyists are all paid off by rich corporate Luxocrats. So what's going on is the system has simply evolved better and better and better liars, and the only people that ever get to talk to your senators and congressmen are the people who can pay for it, and those people always lie. You can't talk to your senator. You can't talk to your congressman. I challenge you to attempt to have a real conversation